Alright. Welcome back to Beacon Space and the faction turn. I've gotten my things moved over. Let's get this title updated. Faction turn 21. Let me find my notes for the faction turn. Here they are. And well, I suppose the only thing left is to make sure we've got the right screen share active. So that would be that. And I need to zoom in so you all can actually see that. There we go. With that out of the way, I think we can go ahead and get started. Don't think I'm missing anything. Doesn't seem like it. I'm sure I'll find something here in a little bit that I've managed to forget, but for the moment, I think we're good. So let's head on over to this. I didn't add these yet, so we'll add 3 columns. The right, excuse me. To have to resize them, but since we turned 20 trades, I believe there were some trades for this last turn, so I'll have to add those in. Maybe entirely incorrect, though. With that, let's go ahead and get started. First up this month in the faction turn is the Starlit Court, who have managed to pull off being #1 this month. Let's go ahead actually and fix the tables and that as well. So, as they start us off, they're going to kick off an exploration bit for this faction turn stream, and I think the audio is a little loud in the background. There we go. Fixed. So, as they get started here, they're going to be exploring into the 1400 system, which is way up here. They've got this strike fleet on a point of interest here. It's 1 hex away from the nearest planet, so this is going to be a difficulty 10 roll. That is a force asset of a strike fleet, so they're going to gain a +5. So this is going to be a D10 +5 roll for them. Let's hop on over to this. I need to actually... They moved it, didn't they, to clear the text chat? Let's clear that so that I don't accidentally manage to leak the invite. Alright, so D10 +5 is a 13. That's an easy success on this exploration. Let's roll a D6 to see how many planets they found. I believe a 4 is 2 planets, but let's double check just for good measure. Too far down on this page. Yes, it is 2 planets. So, our first planet today comes as a result of this roll. Not bad. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move it on over so that I can transfer it into the sheet. So this was in the 1400 system. Right here, we're going to have a second planet. Yes, that's fine. 1400, at this moment it's still system LIV. LIV, not LIC. I don't think I have notes for which planet should be next. LMNO. You. Oh, have we been into planet CA? Oh, we have. Wow, my notes are so old. F, C, C, G. That's right, there were like so many planets explored last turn, weren't there? A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I. C, I. That only took far too long to figure out we should be on planet CI. planet CI. With a mechanics tag of this world of military units cost 1 less to build, it has billions of people finding themselves at TL3 in a breathable mix atmosphere that finds itself to be variable cold, as well as having a missable biosphere with the cultural pallor and abandoned colony tags. The second planet, only a 7 on the ruin roll will not reveal a ruin there. The second planet, planet CJ, gets itself, the planetary governor controller wins ties on attacks and defensive rolls on this planet. It has hundreds of millions of people living in TL2 conditions, with a breathable mix, temperate temperature, and an engineered biosphere, along with the tags of perimeter agency and heavy mining. Quite interesting. A ruin roll of a 17 will not give us a ruin on this planet, and let me just pull the Roll20 tab back over to the stream so you can see that roll. There we go. That looks like those 2 rolls complete for the Starlit Court. The only other thing we have left to do for them is perform a movement of the strike fleet that just did that exploration. Here it is, strike fleet. It was previously there. It's now moving itself over to planet BY, and that's just going to cost 1 faction credit. I don't know why the notes say 2. Taking them down to 13, but I don't think I gave them their income, so they should be at 17. That'll complete their goal, bringing them up to 9 experience points. And that will finish out the Starlit Court. Let's fix this note. Great. That means we can move on to second in our turn order, the Agamala Syndicate, who are going to be purchasing an asset this turn. Their goal is already set, so they can't change it. It is Blood the Enemy from their last turn. But let's go give them their income of 5 faction credits, and then they can buy an asset. So that will take them up to a total balance of, wow, 57 credits. They're then going to spend 12 of those to buy a strike fleet, so that will take them down to 45. So let's do that now. And then we will go give them their strike fleet by inserting that. This will be Agamala Syndicate, a strike fleet. And all of this should be able to autofill. Purchasing it on Nueva Cuauhtémoc means they have the ability to buy there whenever they want, given it is their homeworld. And this cost, as noted, 12 faction credits. This newly acquired asset should get purchase sickness, but we can remove it from any other asset. Great. That wraps up the Syndicate's turn, as it's a short and sweet action to just spend some money. But spaceships and strike fleets are always important. Moving quickly along then, we'll find the Tahora Fayi in third this turn. They've got a reasonably length turn. I've actually noticed I've missed renaming a planet for Agamala Syndicate, so I'm going to go back and do that, but this is the Tahora Fayi's turn. They're going to be seizing a planet for their goal and buying an asset for their action. But on the planet map, we should go find planet L so that I can actually finish my notes. For the Agamala Syndicate, they've seized this planet, and so they've wished to rename it from planet to L Arpon. Their spelling has an accent in it that I should copy over. Perfect. Let's go find out if they had anything on that world. They did not, so the map shouldn't break from that. Perfect. Now we can go continue on with Tahora Fayi's turn, taking them up to 30 credits, giving them their money. This has done the thing where it turns white. That takes them up to 30 faction credits. Exciting. They're going to be spending 8 of those to purchase a covert shipping, and then another 2 in total for moving 2 strike fleets. So I'm going to go ahead and take them down to 20 faction credits now. Let's go purchase that asset for the Tahora Fa'i. They have purchased a covert shipping asset for, as was stated, 8 faction credits. This has purchase sickness. Giving them a covert shipping asset on the acquired world of Disdain, which is a world they control. So again, nobody to ask if they can make this asset purchase. They have 2 movements they've wished to make of 2 different strike fleets of theirs that are currently hanging out in the... one of them is hanging out on Tellus. Let's find that one, the Black Gorab. It is going to be moving from 0909 to 0811, which is a spot in space, so I'll have to add that myself. That's going to cost them one of those 2 faction credits we charged them for movement earlier. And the Kalupa Warimbe is going to move from Hex 1012 to Hex 0811 as well. Those were the 2 costs there. Now, the residing Varangi Vipers, I think that's the correct pronunciation, is going to attempt to guide the whale by rolling a cunning versus wealth defense by the whale, so a 4b4, to see who wins. Give me just one moment, my headset just beeped at me. I'm going to replace the battery before the mic dies. And we're back. Painless. Great, so that takes care of that movement, and now we need to go roll that d4, or d10 plus 4, so this will be rolled for... Who have I normally rolled for first? I think it's normally the attackers, so we'll consider that to be the Tahora Fa'i, so this will be their roll, a 7, and the whale getting a counter roll of a 14. This whale rolls extremely well. I'd like to know the stats on how well the whale has rolled, because I feel like the whale wins every roll. I don't... Like, it's a miracle that it ever took damage 1 turn. That's about all I can say at this point for the whale. It feels like the whale rolls above average. But a 7 versus a 14 is not a success for guiding where the whale will go, so the whale will just continue in its normally planned actions. Let's go make a note of that. Alright, so that's a 3 plus 4 versus 10 plus 4. Failure. Great. Next up, they're going to attempt to revise the charts of Planet A to improve the biosphere to Engineered. This is a DC 14 roll, and it's a D10 plus 6 to try to succeed at this. So let's see if the Tahora Fa'i can master better luck for this roll. An 8 will not succeed, unfortunately, so they will be unable to complete their efforts of transforming the biosphere. 2 plus 6 equals 8. Failure. And then there's just a ruin roll for the Lagan Planetary Ruin that we've just heard a nice lore beat about. So let's see what this D10 roll will result in. I believe a 4 is just a basic success of a +1, which I think means... I think that means it's the success, right? Which planet was this on? Land. Where am I? There it is. I think the notes on this planet, yeah, that'll put it at 8 out of 8. So the ruin has been successfully uncovered. So at the end of this stream then, I will need to go double check my notes, but I should be able to announce what that ruin mechanic is. As the Tahora Fayi are planetary governors there, they'll be able to take advantage of it next turn. So congratulations to them. They're also then going to complete a seize of Planet A as that ticks over to 3 for their turn. So let's go give Planet A into their appropriate control for the Tahora Fayi. And they're going to be renaming Planet A to Sarinen? Somebody should get me a pronunciation guide there. And this system shall be renamed to Gateway. But there we go. Congratulations to the Tahora Fayi on that. Let's go give them their appropriate experience for completing the seize. That takes them up to 8. With that, I believe it completes their turn, and we move along to the 4th faction of this faction turn. Which in this case is the Assembled Commonwealth. The Assembled Commonwealth are going to continue the trend we've seen by the last 2 factions and continue to just make some purchases. Apparently this was the turn where everyone spends their money. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it's the Amelhart Institute next, not the Assembled Commonwealth. I can't read my own notes. I saw an A and picked the wrong A faction. So the Amelhart Institute are going to continue the trend of buying assets, and spend a total of 7 of their credits on a purchase, I think. Well, okay. They're going to be spending a venture capital, I forget the exact cost. Let's just find out. So let's take them up to 61 for their income, and then let's go make this purchase for them, as I've managed to confuse myself at where I am in my notes. So this is the Amelhart Institute. They are purchasing a venture capital. The cost here is a total of 15. However, they do have some commodities broker discounts available to them. They have a total of, 15 discount. They can only use half of that. So I believe that'll cost them a total of 8 faction credits for this venture capital then. Let me just double check. Actually, is it half the asset cost rounded down as the minimum floor? I think it is. So that would mean this only costs 7 and you'd be able to get an 8 discount. We're going to go that way because that sounds more natural. Normally the rule is round down. So the discount, the minimum cost of the asset will round down to 7 rather than the discount rounding down to 7. So if that's a change, somebody can let me know, but I think this sounds about right. They're purchasing this on Ingrid, so there's no purchase permission needed. Let's go charge them their 7 faction credits, taking them down to 54. Fantastic. And I should appropriately make sure I've removed the commodities brokerage discount. I have. Perfect. That wraps up the Institute's turn, and we'll move right along to the Larkspur Combine. Coming in 5th this faction turn. And they're going to do their standard inside enemy territory. We do have some rolls to make for them. So let's go ahead and get started with that. First thing is they have 4 post-tech industries to roll, which we check every turn, but it's useful to remind ourselves. They need to be rolling a d6, and here is the appropriate returns for those for those values. So let's go ahead and go roll 4d6 and let's see what we get. A 1, 4, 5, and 6 is going to be a -1 +1 +1 +2, I believe. Ooh, 5 and 6 is 2 faction credits. Alright, so it's actually going to be -1 +1, so a total of 4 earned. So perfectly average, where 1 faction credit has been earned per post-tech industry. Let's go grant that 4 bonus income, bringing the Larkspur Combine up to 16. I don't think I gave them their income, so they should be at 22. Somebody will correct me if I'm entirely wrong there. With that, though, we should be able to figure things out. Alright, that takes care of that roll. So next up is just moving 4 strike fleets where we need to charge them 4 faction credits, taking them back down to 18. Let's go move these strike fleets around in their normal ways. So the strike fleets that are on Mancuraniti are moving to Idarest. The strike fleet that is on Idarest is moving to Mancuraniti, and the strike fleet that is on Icaros is moving itself to Heliocytus. And that finishes that up, giving them an additional 2 experience points, taking them up to 10. That wraps up the Larkspur Combine's turn, and we'll move right along to up next. Now it's actually the Assembled Commonwealth coming in 6 this turn. They are just going to be using an asset ability after gaining 6 faction credits, so let's go ahead and give them their income, taking them up to 26. They're then going to activate their pre-tick logistics asset, giving them ability to buy a force asset at 1.5 times the cost, that is up to TL5. It is currently located on Idarast, so they are going to create themselves an Anchorage station using their existing commodities broker discount. So, Anchorage Station being the new asset added into the game as a result of their quest completion. That asset normally costs 20 faction credits, so 1.5 times means it would cost 30. There's a total discount on the board for the Commonwealth of 27 across all of their rolled discounts. So that'll take their cost of this asset down to half of the original base cost, which is 10. Because I believe you're allowed to, I believe the ruling on the board is the minimum cost is minimum of the original asset cost, and not just the minimum of whatever it was when it was being charged, because I believe this was a clarification. Let me just double check the rules doc. Here, let me pull it up on the screen. So there is this one, which is basically saying you're allowed to use commodities brokers on the pre-tech logistics purchase. I swear this came up because I feel like I've answered it. I feel like it was answered previously. Yeah, half price is still the greatest possible. Half price is the minimum purchase price. And I think that's half the original price. Does somebody in chat remember? I'm almost certain that was what it is, because I remember this one in the resolution checked books, but it's in here somewhere. That's what we're going to use, so it's going to cost them a total of 10, but they are going to burn all of their discounts. So let's do this. Go ahead and charge them 10 faction credits, taking them down to 16. And let's add, for the first time ever into the faction, to the spreadsheet, a new asset. Now this new asset is going to cause some problems. Which is apparently I haven't... Did I not add it into here yet? I did. Okay. Why did it not update in the drop-down? Well, I have all the notes right here, so I'm just gonna fill it in myself, and we'll... Oh, see, that's all right. Okay, so somehow the thing isn't quite right. So that's not accurate, but almost all of these did fill in. Okay. We'll call that good enough then, I guess. And this appears... Yeah, I probably need to adjust the column for the data validation. I will double check that after the stream rather than continuing to putz about on stream with data validation. Good news is the autofill worked. So this was purchased on Idarast, and it has purchase signals. So this asset may break the map. And I don't know if I actually currently have a way to access the map to fix it, so we'll find out. I'm hoping it doesn't. There may not be an icon for it, but yeah. This may be fun. So I'll be working on trying to keep that fixed as much as I can. That said, though, let's move right along to the next roll for the Commonwealth, which is they have 4 commodities brokers that need to be rolled for discounts. So let's go roll 4d8. An 8-7-1-1 as a resulting discount of 17 is earned for their next purchase. Let's go add that appropriately. So, discount 8. Discount of a 7, and then 2 discounts of 1. Congratulations for that. They're then going to attempt to modify the tech level on Coritas with a DC 11 roll of a D10 plus 4, trying to go up to TL4 on a success. Let's see if they can do it. A 5 will not succeed, so unfortunately they have not succeeded in upgrading that that roll. So D10 plus 4 equals 5. Failure. That completes out the Assembled Commonwealth's turn. Up next in spot 7 this month is the Children of the Vane, where they're going to expand their influence and then do a few other things. Let's go ahead and give them their 9 faction credits, bringing them up to a balance of 17. First thing they're going to do is spend 1 faction credit to move an asset. So that's going to be moving a strike fleet of theirs from the planet CA to planet BA. So let's find that strike fleet right here. So this is moving over to planet BA. Spending 1 experience point, or excuse me, not 1 experience point, gaining 1 experience point and spending 1 faction credit to build a base of influence for 1 HP. That is the conclusion there, and this is on planet BA. So congratulations to them. They're then going to take an action to activate the Tellus tag to heal the bank asset that is currently on Tellus by 1 HP, taking it up to 4 out of 8. They're then going to move a strike fleet that is on Tellus to the 0607 space hex, which, just to note, that is, you know, more than it looks like a strike fleet should be able to move, but one of other Telus's abilities is doubling the movement range of assets on a planet, so the strike fleet is able to move a total of 4 hexes out to 0607. So this one makes a pretty big jump into the sector in an exciting way. Let's go charge them their appropriate 3 faction credits in total for all of those moves, and expansions, taking 14 as the remaining balance, leaving them with 3 experience now. That resolves out to the Children of the Vane's turn. And yeah, that's about it. Up next is the Concord of Mutual Disdain, who come in at a wonderful 8th in this faction turn. They are going to be earning themselves a total of 5 faction credits for their incomes. Let's take them up to 23 for that. As well as they're going to be buying an asset for their action, so they're going to end up purchasing a strike fleet for a total of 12, so I'm going to go ahead and take them down to 11 at this moment. They are setting the Seize Planet goal, given they are seizing the planet of AW at the end of their turn. So, the Concord of Mutual Disdain here, let's go ahead and acquire them a strike fleet. For the Concord of Mutual Disdain. All of this. Give that the appropriate HP, and this is on the planet of Kartakuk, which is the planet they control, so again, no permission needed to purchase this asset. It does get purchasing sickness, but that's the way it goes. We're then going to come over here, and planet AW is going to find itself renamed at the completion of this seize by the Concord of Mutual Disdain to the planet name of Kuzimu, and a system name of Naraka. And it looks like there are 2 planets to update there. The Concord of Mutual Disdain have earned themselves an additional faction credit per turn. Let's see if that math magically fixed itself. Look at that, they now earn 6 faction credits. It's incredible my math works. Pretty sure that is actually appropriately counting for the new thing, because I think they just only gained 5 at the start of this turn. I'm very excited that that worked without any problems. That completes this seize though, and they get 1 experience, taking them up to 11. Last but certainly not least for this faction turn is Ascent, who have come in 9th. Well, as far as player factions are concerned, the White Whale, of course, acts last as always. Ascent is going to be taking the exploration action after we give them their 6 income. So let's go ahead and give Ascent their money, taking them up to 53, still in contention for richest faction, deeply chasing the Amblarta Institute here. However, there are a few movements that we need to take care of that are going to eat away at their current balance, taking them down to a total of 49 as they spend 4 faction credits to move a smuggler's asset currently located on 1217, way down here over to the point of interest at 1117, and then there's a smuggler's asset way up here in the 701 that also has a seditionist asset that it's carrying it around with it. And those are going to be moving to the point of interest at 0500. So 4 faction credits between those move. Let's go ahead and complete those on the asset tracker for Ascent. So the Seditionist and the Smugglers are moving themselves to 05. And the other ones in 1217 are moving to 1117. Point of interest. Those are those movements out of the way. We're going to start with the exploration in 1117, so come on back down to this portion of the sector. We can see that we are 2 hexes away from the nearest explored planet. This is just a point in space, so 2 hexes away. makes this a difficulty 12 roll for the Ascent Smuggler's asset, which finds itself as a cunning asset. So a cunning score for Ascent is, of course, a 6 of theirs, so this is going to be a d10 plus 6, trying to beat a 12 for difficulty. A 16 will knock that out of the park. And they will discover some planets in the 1117 hex. They'll just be discovering one planet, though. That is an interesting planet. Let's go ahead and transfer this into to the spreadsheet. So this is in the 1117 hex. And this is going to be planet CK, if I'm right? Yes, planet CK. So this has the mechanics tag of the planetary government controller wins ties on this planet, where there are hundreds of millions of people living at a wonderful population level of TL4, along with an airless or thin atmosphere that is variable cold and has no native biosphere, with the tags of freak weather and ritual combat. Quite an interesting world to have discovered here. A ruin roll of 9 doesn't give us a ruin, and I think my ability to roll 20s on d20s just must be broken in the faction turn, because I swear I've created far more planets than the law of averages says. I should have rolled ruins for them. But that is the way it works sometimes now, isn't it? So, that said, we only have, I don't know, one faction left, and that would be the White Whale to act. So, given the White Whale was undisturbed this turn, it remains where it is. It either takes the action to gain the stealth property or heal. It is chosen at random by rolling a d10. Heal is even, and stealth is odds, so let's roll a d10. A result of 9 gives the whale stealth. So, Stealthy Whale back to being hidden. Let's go add that as a tracker for the whale. Roll 9, gain stealth. Whale's back to hiding. It doesn't like to participate in your games. That should be that. There we go. That would be that for the White Whale then. That is about it. I think there's only been one discovered ruin, yeah. Even though Tellus has a ruin on it, and there's another planet that has a ruin on it by GM Fiat when it finally appears. But I think there's only been one naturally rolled ruin, which is much lower than I would have figured we should have had for having discovered, yeah, nearly 90 planets. That said, yeah, Tahora found one, and it's actually the one we get to resolve out now. So, let me find... I may be lacking my official write-up. In fact, I think I am. I don't think I have the 100% finalized wording that I was hoping to have quite complete. But, here is the, here is the result of this ruin. So, the station that has been found by the Tahora explorers on the ruin in this sector is an old bastion of a previous, what would have been a faction in previous history. that was a deep study of that performed deep studies of the bleed, and so this is a bleed research facility that also dabbled in being able to raise biological creatures by some reproductive methods influenced by the bleed. So these are bleed soldier assets, essentially, that are being created by the faction. Or on this planet, excuse me. And the update for this is that at the end of every turn, after this world has been seized, which has already been seized, a random faction will gain a bleed warrior asset. It will take its base stats off of the G-engineered slaves. This will probably get renamed, or have a duplicate made with the bleed warrior's name. This will be what the asset is. And there is no cap to the number of these assets that can be generated on planet. The standard cap for a faction only being able to have 5 of the same asset with a name still applies. So if a faction manages to get 5 of them before having dealt with the problem, then they will no longer be able to be eligible to gain another asset of this type, and the planetary government controller will gain an additional income equal to half the number of these bleed warriors that are on planet. So playing pretty directly from one of the weird examples for a ruin that was proposed when we did exploration. I'll clean up the formal wording and get it posted in the Discord. It probably won't be immediately after the stream. It does count as normal against your force upkeep. That is one of the complications of this ruin. Do remember there is an ability to essentially sell or scrap assets for free. Sell is an actual action, isn't it? But there is an ability to scrap assets, so that is something that can be done. If I recall correctly. Yep. So there is a way to get rid of them, but it will count against your force cap. And there is an advantage for the Tahora Fai, the more of them that exist on planet. The fictional thing is it looks like this was sort of a sparring arena and a test bed for these sort of bleed-enhanced warriors to get tried out on simple biological reproductions, and then they could then be, once the process of infusing a warrior with the bleed effects had been finessed, they could then be applied to actual warriors in the field. But the technology to reproduce it outside of this current laboratory isn't available to the factions at this time. It would require further research, or somebody potentially coming to me asking about the ability to do such a thing. That is technology that has been lost to time, essentially, but the old factory still seems to be working, even if in a slightly corrupted state. Tahora Fai will also get for me a little lore blurb resulting in what their continued exploration results in, so that hopefully they can wrap up that storyline next stream as well. With that said, though, I think that wraps up everything for this faction turn stream. I don't have anything else noted. I will continue my somewhat cryptic warning that there is preparation work for the next sector-wide event to occur that I am in the process of finalizing, so that could happen and get started at any of the upcoming turns. Standard one turn before rule implementation will still apply, but I'm not going to reveal everything for the upcoming Ruin at once. You'll find things out the month before new things start happening. So that would be if I need to clarify something about the way the next event happens. You won't get to know everything 6 months in advance. You'll just know the things that occur 1 month before they happen. So, that resolves out. Thanks everyone for joining for the faction turn. We'll probably be returning back to a split lore stream and faction turn stream next over this next month. I haven't confirmed with Lupus the next time for the lore stream, but again, it won't be any sooner than 2 or 3 weeks away. And I suspect I'll plan the next faction turn stream currently tentatively targeting August 6th rather than sneaking one in right at the end of July. So we'll head on out 4 weeks from now, or what would that be, like 5 weeks, to August 6th as the next faction turn stream. But thanks everyone for tuning in to Beacon Space this month. Hope you've had a fantastic one. As always, I enjoy continuing to roll dice for everyone and get to process these wonderful turns. So thank you all very much. I'll leave you with some chill tunes as we fade out here. Thanks for joining us on the first doubleheader we have ever done for the lore stream and faction turn. Thanks everyone. Bye.